Shocking news pops. Car dealers and automakers both want a United Auto Workers strike. I'm calling it right now, Dad. We have until September 14th, if I'm not mistaken, for the UAW and the big three, Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors, to come to an agreement in terms of a new working relationship between the union and those automakers.
Yes.
Inventory for those three OEMs, Dad, building. The highest of any automakers in the country. International automakers like Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, all struggling to produce inventory. Not Ford, not GM, not Stellantis. Dealers, lots starting to fill up with inventory. Floor plan costs going through the roof on that inventory that's sitting there. The UAW strike is a perfect story for restricting inventory once again, like we had when there was the chip shortage. I think UAW strike is absolutely going to happen, and it's going to be that new justification for why we're holding prices high, dealer addendums, things like that.
Well, there won't be any new cars coming in. They're not building any cars. We just have to sell what we have. The dealers are going to love it. The manufacturers, for a certain aspect, are going to love it because it gives them the opportunity to sell down the inventory that's sitting on dealers' lots. Okay, and then that will create some artificial shortages. Now, what we have to try to figure out is how long would the strike have to last to have those type of positive effects for the manufacturer and for the dealers.
Yeah, negative effects for us.
Yes, negative effects for the consumers, but a positive effect for the manufacturer and the dealers. If there are no cars being built, well, the dealer's going to look at the customer. This is it. This is all we have. We have no idea when this strike's going to end.
Does that not sound eerily similar to the chip shortage?
We have no idea when this chip shortage is going to end.
Right? Wasn't that the scapegoat that got us into the situation we're currently in?
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's just clear. And what's great about this one, Dad, what's great about the UAW strike, and I don't mean to talk lightly about unions striking to be able to get fair wages and things like that. But what's great about this one is that it only impacts the big three here in the United States. And those big three are the ones that have the most inventory of all the automakers.
But, perhaps they have the most inventory of all the automakers because they understood that there was a likelihood of a strike. And so that they ramped up production for that strike so that they would have inventories. Because, a year ago, the average inventory available for across the industry was about 1.2 to 1.4 million vehicles. Today, it's new vehicles on a monthly basis. Today, prior to a strike, it's sitting somewhere between 2 and 2.2 million. So there's like an extra 800,000 vehicles floating around out there.
Yep. That
if there's a strike that lasts 10 days, 2 weeks, 3, who knows how long it would last. If there is a strike, well, that would be reason enough to have produced all those extra vehicles. So they'll have some time where they're not producing cars, where they'll have an incentive for the dealers to just look at the customers and go, this is it. This is what it's going to take. This is all that we have out there. You want to order a car? We don't know when the strike's going to end. We can't tell you when they actually have the opportunity to build your damn car. So
if I'm a car dealer, I'm hoping, I'm praying for a strike. I'm 100%. If I own a Ford dealership, if I own a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership, if I own a Chevy dealership, I'm going to bed every night and I'm saying, please let there be a strike.
Save 20% on everything CarEdge. Data, coach, reports, consult. Use promo code 20 or save $100 on the vehicle service contract, extended or tech warranty. They're automatically applied at checkout now through September 4th only. And 97% of the UAW's members have voted to authorize a strike if the negotiations break down, which we're pretty sure they will break down. Yeah. The only unknown here is how long a strike might last.
And let's talk about it. If there was a strike, the impact on consumers would be like you were describing. You go to buy that F-150 and it's like, hey, price is the price. Or maybe there's now addendum stickers again because they're, hey, we have no clue when there's inventory coming. That's a net negative for consumers because it puts all the leverage back on the dealer's side. We had been seeing incentives rise, OEM incentives rise significantly. I forget what the latest, it was over 5% of the average transaction price as incentives, I think is what Cox Automotive told us for last month, for July.
That could go down.
That would definitely go down. Why would the OEM need to provide incentives to purchase their vehicles if they can't produce any of them.
Exactly.
I mean, this really is setting the stage for chip shortage 2.0. And if that is prolonged, that has a very negative impact on the market. We'll see new car prices going back up again. We'll see used car prices going back up again. It really just puts a damper on the momentum we had turning this market back towards a bit of a buyer's market.
The only question that one would have to ask is, what is the ultimate cost to the big three if the strike goes any real length of time? Yes, they can sell down the existing inventory, but what is the total overall cost of a lengthy strike? How does that impact their profit margins going forward and their profit expectations for the year? And I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, they're going to look at it and go, okay, this is long enough.
What do you think? Let's just take a moment to put our best guesses out there. What do you think is going to happen? How long do you think it'll last? Do you think it'll happen, and then how long?
Yes, I think it'll happen.
A strike, yeah.
Yes, and initially I thought maybe it would be like a 10-day to 2-week situation, and I think I still believe that, because I think once you approach a week, the federal government's going to get involved. They're going to say it's in the best interest of the country to end the strike. So
the freaking Federal Reserve's going to pick up the phone and say, damn it, we don't want inflation, make some damn cars.
So my best guess is it's 10 days to 2 weeks. If it goes beyond that, I would be surprised. And the few things that we've read is that could impact, a 10-day to 2-week strike could impact manufacturers to the tune of about $10 billion in lost potential revenue. So how long do they really want it to go? I don't know. We know that the UAW wants a big wage increase.
Yeah.
Based on what UPS drivers just got. I'm sure they feel they have some leverage.
Definitely.
They know how much money the big three have been making.
Definitely.
And they want their share of it.
No. There's
which I would suggest they're entitled to. But it just, how long will the economics last that they can afford to run down their strike fund for their members, and how long can the manufacturers last?
I want to put one comment out there, which is, if you're thinking about buying a new truck, because these are primarily truck companies, new truck at the end of the year, don't let this influence your thinking. The strike will not last.
Oh, no.
Until, so if you're still thinking...
If the strike starts on the 14th of September, it'll be over by the end of September.
Yeah, I generally agree with that. Yeah. So don't let this influence you too much. It's fascinating to see what's happening, and it's really interesting to think that this could be chip shortage 2.0.
Yes.
Fortunately, we think it's going to be short-lived. Chip shortage was a year. Imagine a strike for a year. That would be terrible.
That's not,
and that won't happen.
No.
The feds won't let it happen.
It won't happen.
There's no economic incentive to let that happen
for anybody.
For anyone. So don't let that influence you too much. End of year is still going to be a great time to be in the market for a new truck, because these big three are still going to have an oversupply of inventory. This is going to be a temporary drawdown of existing supplies, which, is fine. It would be better as consumers have just kept building up. But heck, remember Chevy actually turned off one of their production plans for Silverados earlier this year.
Yes.
So this is like essentially the same thing, just on a slightly larger scale.
They had shut down for 2 weeks. So, and that would be my guess, is what you're looking at.
10 to 14 days.
Yeah, 10 days to 2 weeks.
We'll check in a month, folks.
Yep.